Alright, we are on the play with Rug Delver. This hand looks good. Turn 1 Visions, turn 2 Goyf, Snapcaster, Denial, Simic Charm in the mix. We're probably going to dig for interaction because that's basically our worst thing. Do I want Delver of Secrets? I'm pretty sure next turn we're just going to slam Tarmogoyf. We could get a breeding pool to do so. That means we lose one of these cards. I think I'm going to throw both on top with the Spell Snare being topmost, because that is actually legitimately relevant interaction. And that's probably the only way I'm considering not going Fetch Goyf. Yeah. Then again, Delver's pretty nice, but I don't want to play Delver next turn anyways. So I believe we keep both of these. If I'm playing a threat, it's going to be Goyf. Unless I want to go Delver, hold up, Denial. But that seems not super likely when we'll be drawing a Spell Snare. So let's go to our opponent. If they Thoughtseize our Goyf, it is unfortunate. Colonnade means we're not getting Thoughtseized. Against a control deck, I think I do want to draw Delver, but at the same time I'd like to fetch so that Goyf is immune to Bolt. This could very well be Jeskai, and if our Goyf dies to a Bolt against Jeskai, we are in a world of hurt, so let's get a breeding pool. Blue-white is certainly more popular, but I don't think that makes it worth giving up Goyf. Did the island end up being tapped? Yes, it did. Fantastic. We did give up Delver, but we didn't actually lose Delver. We just shuffled it back in, which isn't quite as bad as... It's certainly not as bad as losing a Goyf. Is Jeskai. Cool. We've got Spell Snare. And we drew another Delver anyways. That's fantastic news. Land tapped. Hold up, Spell Snare. I like it. We're obviously playing Delver. Maybe we don't. Maybe we want to play around Verdict. It is at least a little less likely that our Jeskai opponent has Verdict than a blue-white opponent. So that's certainly relevant. We do have Simic Charm to sort of play around that as well. Let's try to pile on some damage. We also have Snapcaster Mage, which is at least somewhat helpful. They want to exile our Goyf, and I don't think we can stop them. Do we try? I don't think we do. Do we want a forest or an island? We already have double green. Let's get triple blue. We could actually get double red. Hasty Nux. Hasty Nux is very good after a board wipe. How likely is it that I want blue, blue, blue? Not very likely. Let's get a mountain. Delver can resolve. If this is a lightning bolt, we probably denial it. Electrolyze. Oh, that's such a sweet target. And they shocked for it. Yes. I like that a lot. Oh no, you're gonna shoot myself and Delver for one? That's awful. I really like that we got to do that. That feels good. Getting to use a denial after Goyf bites the dust feels excellent. Lightning Bolt's not great here. Transforming Delver is... we're going to hit for 3. Our hand has quite a bit of interaction. We might actually get this Delver to go the distance. It is entirely possible. We can actually Simic Charm, Spell Snare, Bolt all in the same turn, which is neat. They shocked. That's scary. They're not representing Cryptic Command. What are they doing? I don't know. There's nothing I want to end step Snapcaster Mage with. Do I fire off a Lightning Bolt at them? Probably. I'm thinking about what they could... Oh, Spell Queller. Nice. Very, very nice. That's going to take our Lightning Bolt. Do I care about that? I kind of do. I really kind of do. I think we're going to let that happen. Then we're going to put the Spell Queller back in their hand. Have the lightning bolt hit them. Sooner or later, Snapcaster Mage is probably going to have that lightning bolt go off again. So let's bounce this Spell Queller. Blue, green. I want to hold up Spell Snare just in case. It's not relevant. Who am I kidding? There's no way they're playing Simian Spirit Guide. They're pathing our Aberration, which does suck. Now we're going to get the island. We put that back in their hand. They're going to now get bolted. Yes. I don't know if that ends up being worth it. Okay, now it legitimately might. We could snap bolt and bolt and then just wait for them. We've only seen 2 lightning bolts so far. That seems really greedy. Or at least very aggressive. It's nice that we now know they're on Jeskai the Queller variant. Do I want to snap Serum Visions? That seems worse than Snap Bolt. Then we're just going to Snap Bolt while they are tapped out. Snapcaster Mage. Target Lightning Bolt. Yup. Lightning Bolt. Your face. Red. Done. I don't want to use this bolt yet. Although it would put them down to 2. Then they're going to be a lot more wary of our Snapcaster Mage. So we untap. What do we got? It's a Steam Vents. That doesn't help us. If we swing, they play Queller. We'll end up having to bolt it. We're going to swing anyways. This game could absolutely slip away on us. Blessed Alliance. We'll snare that. That's fine. If they're escalating it, snare actually... It probably still works. Xmage was bugged a while ago where when Blessed Alliance first came out, if they escalated it and you shoaled for 2, it wouldn't counter it because Xmage thought the CMC was higher than 2. We were able to target it though, so that bug has been fixed. If they don't have anything, I think they're dead. Do they have removal for this Snapcaster Mage? This is exciting. We might actually have them on the burn plan. It was unblocked. Do we bolt now or on our turn? We have more than enough mana. I think we're going to go to our turn. No, we're going to their turn. Oh, we're doing it before they untap, that's for sure. No doubt in my mind I want to do that before they untap. Fantastic. We just burned them out. That was cool. How do we sideboard against Jeskai Spell Queller? Blood Moon seems good. Dismember does not. Pyroclasm probably isn't good. Blood Moon and Huntmaster are going to be very awkward, and we're going to have to be careful because we know that they have Spell Queller in their deck, and I think this archetype runs quite a few of them, which means they have a lot of good ways to deal with our Huntmaster and Blood Moon while they are on the stack. So we're going to have to play carefully around that. Basilisk Collar doesn't look great. Although Jeskai does usually win off of damage being relevant, that is, with bolts and helices, things like that. They don't have colorless spells that I'm worried about. Staticaster seems bad. This is one of those matchups where I will board in Destructive Revelry, because I fully expect them to have some sort of artifact or enchantment, plus they could be boarding into Rest in Peace. So Revelry seems good here. I don't think you want Grudge. I'm not sure if I want the Collar. I don't want these Thought Scours. Gnarlwood Dryad seems kinda bad, but Death Touch is another way to make Colonnade worse. So I don't fully hate that. Bauble seems good. Thought Scour is generally an easy cut against mid-range decks. We know they have Spell Queller, so these Lightning Bolts just became extremely valuable. Do I cut a Denial? I wouldn't mind making our top decks a little better. I still want the Traverses because I did just say I want good top decks. Vapor Snag can go. Simic Charm is certainly on the chopping block, probably with a copy of Tarfire, because Tarfire is a lot worse than Lightning Bolt here, given that the third point of toughness is relevant. What else is on the chopping block? Let's make a pile. Possibly Deprive, although Deprive could be pretty good. I'm pretty much expecting this game to go long, especially when they're on the play. Maybe we cut a Mana Leak instead. Deprive's a little more restrictive. Deprive's probably better than Mana Leak. I want all of these, probably all of these. I don't want to dump any threats, and I don't think I'm in boarding out Bauble territory yet. I'm not good enough with the card to say when I should board it out or not, so I think it's probably just better to keep it in. Which of these cards is the best? Simic Charm's the most versatile, so we're going to go with that. Let's bring these cards in so that I don't attempt to submit a deck that is way too small. I forgot, we need both. We need 2 cards. Mana Leak, Tarfire. Let's go with Mana Leak. Submit that. On the draw against Jeskai Queller. How exciting. We have 3 lands. This seems pretty good. I don't hate this hand. I don't love it because we don't have early pressure, but we're probably going to sit down for a mid-rangey game. So it's probably fine. Let's go to us. We don't have anything to do before playing a land. They started with a Visions. I kind of want to, too. The thing is, if we Visions, then we're probably not fetching first, because I would like for this Misty to get a green source, specifically probably a basic forest just in case. Let's start with the island. Playing a basic island seems fine. We drew the forest, which is actually kind of great for us. Tarmogoyf being on top is also wonderful. Let's play Bauble. Do I want to look at their top card? Probably. I don't mind drawing Goyf because they're not going to have hand disruption, not land disruption. Very different. They played the Delta, so we no longer know about that. Another Visions. They could have Spell Snare, so I might not want to jam this Tarmogoyf. Traverse is not quite on, although Mishra's Bauble went a long way to enable it. That's pretty handy. I think we're just going to start on this Misty and pass the turn, which is certainly awkward. Don't get me wrong. But I really don't want to run Goyf into a Spell Snare. What are the chances they're playing Spell Snare? I'm going to look up a list. MTG Goldfish. They have lists. Hopefully this doesn't take long. I'm at the Modern page. Viewing more because Jeskai is not exactly common in this metagame. Jeskai Control. 11 decks. 1.87% of the meta right now. Okay. I have a list with 4 Quellers. Ooh, Censor in this particular list. I don't see Spell Snares in this one, but I do see Censor. But Censor's 2 mana. So I'm going to go for it. Hopefully that list is indicative. Do we play the Forest? Yeah. Since we drew them naturally, I don't feel like playing these lands is leading our opponent to believe we have Blood Moon. We also don't have Blood Moon, so maybe leading them to believe we have it isn't so bad. They pathed our Goyf, which means we can actually play Huntmaster next turn. However, do we play around a 2-mana counterspell? I did just look at a list that plays Censor, so that's at least somewhat relevant. Do I slam Huntmaster? It could be a little bit of a blowout, but I think this is probably the best time to do it. And I don't think Jeskai lists run a lot of 2 CMC counters, so I'm going to go for it. It's definitely awkward that all of our basics are already out. They didn't counter it. That's fantastic. Gain a couple life. There's a Lightning Bolt. That's less fantastic. But we'll deal with it. At least we got a 2.5 for 1. Colonnade comes down. Sure. We don't quite have Delirium, but if we fetch, we will. We're going to fetch out a green source so that we can traverse prior to playing Hooting Mandrills. What do we traverse for? Probably Huntmaster? I feel like Huntmaster is the right choice, because the only thing that's really going to scare Mandrills with Denial backup is a Supreme Verdict, which basically Huntmaster is probably the best thing against that, except for maybe Savage Knuckleblade. Savage Knuckleblade isn't a forest or an island anyways. We want a Stomping Ground. That's where we start here. So did I do my math right? We traverse for green, and then we can Mandrills. We can actually just pay 2 for Mandrills, delve 4, leave a card in the graveyard. It'll probably be Visions, and then have both Snare and Denial up, which seems like something I want to do. I didn't actually have to fetch yet, so that was a little silly. Another thing I should be wary of is casting spells pre-combat against this deck, because they have Spell Queller, so if they flash in a Queller here to deal with this wolf, they won't be able to flash it in to deal with Traverse. So I think that is actually really relevant in a Cryptic Command sort of sense. Let's cast Traverse, see if it resolves. If it doesn't, C'est la vie, life goes on, that's fine. We have Delirium, Savage Knuckleblade, Tarmogoyf, Hooting Mandrills, Narnum, Gnarlwood Dryad, not Narnum Renegade, Huntmaster of the Fells, Witch, Delver of Secrets even. I want a resilient threat. They're not playing Fatal Push, so Goyf basically survives whatever Mandrills does, so Mandrills is out. Delver is also less resilient, so that's gone. Huntmaster, Snapcaster Mage, Goyf, Knuckleblade. I think this is going to be slow, so we're going to get Huntmaster maybe. Yeah, let's get Huntmaster. We could play it now, but I don't think we want to. I want to slam this Mandrills. Delve 4. Everything that is not Serum Visions. Serum Visions is the card I want to keep because we are pretty light on sorceries. So it helps Delirium at least somewhat. They are helixing the... Oh, I should not be giving up priority. We could have snared that. It might have been relevant. We're definitely denialing this. We could have snared that. I don't know if we want to. Spell Queller is going to exile that. That can't be spell snared, unfortunately. Spell Snare is not pulling a lot of weight in this this match. I wonder if we should have boarded out a copy. That is going to get our Mandrills. At least we have backup. We have nothing to get. We can look at our library, though. 1 Mandrills, 1 Dryad, 1 Knuckleblade, 3 Goyfs. That's good. Couple Snapcaster Mages, so we do have threats. They exist. We drew a Wooded Foothills, which we're not going to play. I'm pretty sure... Oh, well, we'll tap these first so that we don't have to deal with Stomping Ground asking us what we want to do. Gain a little more life, make some more bodies. They might end up verdicting here, which would be annoying because Stubborn Denial is going to do very little if Verdict destroys Queller and then there's nothing on the stack. So they still basically get their 2-for-1, even if they end up destroying their own creature, which does suck for us. Colonnade needs more mana. Another Bolt. I'm back on to your turn, which is very much incorrect. We should be holding up Spell Snare, even though it hasn't come up yet, although we could have snared that Helix. I don't know if you actually snare the Helix. Goyf's good. Hopefully Goyf helps. We're surprisingly on the back foot. They've drawn a lot of removal, and we've drawn a lot of threats. You'd think that drawing this many threats would make us favored, but really, they drew the removal to match it. We can't deal with that. We could counter our own Goyf. They're going to bounce the wolf regardlessly. If it was counter draw, I'd at least consider that. But they are dealing with both of our threats. Do I play this? Probably not. Life totals are really relevant in this matchup. The 1 damage could speed up their clock. Not doing that this time. This time we are holding priority, excuse me, for when the Snapcaster Mages show up. I'm apparently playing a lot more slowly than the opponent is. That's a big juicy graveyard. I'd like to hit some Snapcaster Mages. I'd also like to draw a bunch of threats, but to be fair, I think I've drawn well. Simic Charm does a lot of nothing here. Maybe we board that out for... No, but we took out Tarfire, not Bolt. So even if this was Tarfire and we boarded out Simic Charm instead, it doesn't help us. Unfortunate. Bolt. So we could bolt that Queller. We can. Is that relevant? Probably. Let's do that. We should actually have done that on the upkeep. That was a mistake. Should have done that on the upkeep in case they had stuff to interact with it, so that if they could interact with it, we at least get to time walk them. Do I still get to cast my counterspell? I do? Fantastic. Oh, it has no valid targets. We don't get to do it. I really just wanted to cast it. End step Electrolyze is not something we can deal with. Fortunately, that puts us to 13, so they need another burn spell before that Colonnade becomes very scary. They also need another land before it becomes even remotely intimidating. Blood Moon's not great here, but I'd accept it. I'm not going to play any of these fetches because, like I said, 3-turn clock off of Colonnade. So the 1 point of damage is extremely relevant, probably far more relevant than the thinning. Although I gotta say, I would like to increase my chances of drawing something good. You're getting spell snared. You don't know how long I've waited, Snapcaster Mage. You don't know. Thank you for being countered. I appreciate it, Snapcaster Mage. Our opponent is not hitting land drops, which means they have gas. At least we have a Delver. That's something. Go to end step. Simic Charm could actually be relevant here now. Simic Charm is really bad when you have nothing on board, and pretty good when you do have something on board. We want Hexproof instead of Giant Growth because it gets rid of their life gain. Blue-green. Do they have a counter? Probably not. Oh, they might have a Queller. Do they have a Queller? No. Go to us. Oh, no. No. Oh, we were already on end step. At this point, I think you play a fetch land, because that enables you to Delver Scry, and I think that's an effect we want. Second Snapcaster Mage I can't deal with. That one's going to happen. So maybe the spell snares are good. Now our life total is a little less relevant, but still really relevant because now they have a 2-1. Ghost Quarter is not that relevant, but it could be. I'm not going to play any of these. I don't think. They have 6 damage, a turn, which is a 2-turn clock. They can now animate Colonnade. I guess that does make it relevant for thinning. Except if we can deal with the Snapcaster Mage, and then they have a burn spell. We're going to go to 6. Does going to 5 matter? It could. If we have a way to deal with Colonnade, such as Blood Moon, and then they have a burn spell, going to 5 matters. We'll give ourselves the option. It could be relevant that we want to fetch. I don't know that we do. Colonnade turns on. It basically comes down to how likely do I think it is that they have a lightning bolt effect in hand. And that I will be able to deal with Colonnade. If both of those conditions are met, we shouldn't fetch, because then we deal with Colonnade, we take 2 off Snapcaster Mage, we fetch down to 5, we're now at 3, bolt, we're dead. But if those conditions aren't met, we should fetch because it makes it slightly more likely for us to come back. I think we're going to fetch. The land drop's not really relevant. I don't think. What do I want to draw? Or what do I want to get out of the deck? I really should have checked what was fetchable. That might have just been take 1 point for nothing. Don't try that at home, folks. Okay, Snapcaster Mage trades with Snapcaster Mage. Simic Charm bounces Colonnade. We have a chance. We could Snapcaster Mage Serum Visions instead, which doesn't slow them down, but it accelerates us. I think I want to do that. Let's Snap Visions. We have a lot of red mana. If we can Visions into a Blood Moon, which resolves, that would be pretty sweet. Let's use the island. Destructive Revelry does nothing. Unfortunately, Knuckleblade is not what we need here because we're going to die to Colonnade Beats imminently. The Serum Visions could theoretically be good. Yeah, that's fine. Mana is not really a problem for us. Let's play this Breeding Pool tapped. We still have 2 cards they don't know about, so I don't think bluffing with the Breeding Pool matters as much as them Ghost Quartering something and through some convoluted sequence of visions into whatever, we're just dead. Didn't matter. Alright. No, we won't search. We'll keep our scry intact. They animate. They don't have the white. They don't have the white. We're not dead yet. Unless they Ghost Quarter something getting a Plains. Do they have another Plains? It doesn't look like it. Okay, we have another turn. It's highly unlikely we find something to deal with both, but it is possible. One Snapcaster Mage is exiled. There's still a Snapcaster Mage in the deck. We could Snapcaster Simic Charm. That is possible. Let's Visions. This is exciting. I'm going to have to play really quickly in game 3. Visions. Bolt doesn't do it. I'd like to just bolt their Snapcaster Mage, but it does not do it. How about the second Visions? I think I want that. Because now we get to scry even deeper to draw off of that Visions. Traverse. Do we actually have the mana for that? We bottom deprive. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Visions, Traverse is 2, and then Snap Charm. We actually can pull that off. Serum Visions again with blue. We have lots of red, so that's not limiting. Okay, Xmage, I need you to comply. Oh, I really want Blood Moon too, but we can't. We'll leave it on top anyways because I do want it. Now we use the basic forest to cast Traverse. And then get a Snapcaster Mage. Do we not have an... There it is. I was going to say, do we not have another Snapcaster Mage? Don't do this to me. Play a land just in case they have a Censor effect. And then cancel the skips. Because this is going to require some on-point sequencing. We actually might make it out alive. It's actually possible. That's fantastic. Playing 2 outs is so much fun. Yep. They animate Colonnade, absolutely. Before they attack, we're going to cast this Snapcaster Mage. That way, if they do want to tap Colonnade to cast something, it doesn't get to attack as well. So in the before combat, we need to use the mountain. And then either of these blue sources will do it. Yep. Wow, this is exciting. Target Simic Charm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is happening. Unfortunately, we might not necessarily get to trade the Snapcaster Mages. We are. Simic Charm. Return target creature. That one. Green, blue. Happens. This time we're going to make sure we're blocking. They have a Bolt. Well. Didn't matter, but at least we played as well as we could. Yeah, that is consolation. Do we need to sideboard at all? We potentially want one of these. Are either of these better than something in here? Third Denial, I don't think so. Also, second Tarfire doesn't seem great. Games are going to go long. Traverse is probably going to be on. Sounds good. Let's run it back. Let's try to be fast. We're on the play. This hand is... It has a Serum Visions. I'm going to go for it. We're going to get a Breeding Pool, which might be contrary to Blood Moon, so let's not do that. Let's not. We're going to get a Steam Vents. Misty, get a Steam Vents for Bolt and Blood Moon. We want to hit a land anyways, so we'll probably be able to Dryad. Stomping Ground's probably good enough. I don't really want Snapcaster Mage. Go to us. Do not want priority. We need to hustle. This game is pretty likely to go long, and I have just over 6 minutes on the clock. Oh no. Don't you lag, Xmage. Don't you lag. Do we just slam both threats? I think we do. I honestly think we need to go fast. Like Sonic. Plus, if we have a turn 3 Blood Moon that locks them out of being able to cast removal on these two threats, that would be pretty significant. Yes, it would. They're fetching, that's fine. Let's get Graveyards out while their clock runs. Oh, Lightning Helix, that's pretty good. Taking out Delver. Makes Delirium a little better. Oh, look at this. Are we just going to do it? We're probably just going to do it. I really wish this could get a green source, but it can't. Do I cast Hooting Mandrills? I totally cast Hooting Mandrills. Mandrills is almost certainly what we want to do this turn because Dryad's not going to be fast enough. I do want to make Delirium as good as possible, so we're only going to Delve 3. Leave the Visions. Sorceries are nice. Let's attack. Yup. 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 Go to them. Clean up this board state a little bit. We had creature land. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Static Caster. Ooh. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Takes out Dryad, which is relevant. Now, if they have a Bolt, they can Static Caster deal with Mandrills, so I think we want to Visions instead of slamming this Blood Moon. I believe I want to Bolt that Static Caster to make sure they can't screw with us. We actually might end up with double blue, but we're probably fetching away Snapcaster Mage. Let's do that. Bolt this. Pay red. Yup. I also want actual threats. Snap Visions isn't bad, but I think I would rather just find the real threats. Bobble's a redraw. Bobble can stay. Denial can't. We need actual action. We'll play this. Go to us. We're not fetching. Okay, opponent's at 15. We have done a lot of stuff. They don't have Verdict mana yet, which is good. They're not doing anything, which is a little scary. We drew Bobble. Ooh, we can Bobble Scry. I like Bobble Scry. We can actually deprive things, which is somewhat relevant, probably very. Look at our card. What is it? It's a Knuckleblade. I want to draw it very much. Do we just go for Blood Moon here? I really kind of just want to slam Blood Moon. Oh, but then we can't. We can't fetch. Oh, we actually can't cast Knuckleblade under a Blood Moon, so let's not do that. We will just hold up Deprive. Snapcaster Mage will likely... I have no idea what that... It wants to flash back Helix. Why let it? Blue, red. Let's pick the island up. Go to us. Although we might want to fetch. Ooh, mana leaking it. Sure, that happens. Snapcaster Mage does not a lot. We draw the bauble. Now we can fetch. Fetching is no longer much of a downside. They have double white. Now we have to play around Verdict. I think we're going to fetch here. 4 mana is definitely relevant, and I would like to be the one with double blue if Blood Moon resolves. Lightning Bolt. Let's get in there. I could slam Knuckleblade. That seems dangerous. We do have Lightning Bolt, but I'd rather have more mana for that in case they have the Spell Queller, so that we can bolt the Queller and give Nux haste. So I think we're just in go to combat mode. That hurts. Nothing we can do about it, but it does hurt. Yep, we'll sack it. That one. Now we're going to cast Knuckleblade. Or Blood Moon. No, Knuckleblade. It's got to be Knuckleblade first. Not really negotiable. Unless I just don't want to be casting Knuckleblade. But I want to be casting Knuckleblade. There's the Spell Queller. We'll bolt that eventually. Yep. So the tempo is definitely on our opponent's side right now. The clock certainly is. Hopefully we can still take this. What do we start with? Let's go with Blood Moon. They're remanding it. That's fine. Before they draw, I think I want this bolt to resolve. Minimize the chances of them having a counter. Go to us. If they have another Queller, that's just going to be awful for us. But we can't really do anything about that. Unless we get another Lightning Bolt, which would be sweet. Bolt Queller allows us to bolt Queller. Yeah, I'll cast it. So that's good for us. Supreme Verdict still hurts. They now know of Blood Moon. They have 2 cards, 3 after drawing. We're tapped out. They have lots of lands. Blood Moon's not that scary now. Not that scary. They're representing Lightning Bolt. If they have 2, we're certainly in trouble, but we're going to play around the 1 and not the 2nd. Lightning Helix. Do they have Helix Bolt? That would be so bad for us. They didn't. Traverse. 5 card types. Traverse, get a Snapcaster Mage. Flashback, Lightning Bolt. I don't know if that's any good. Maybe we just hold up Mana Leak. We should probably do both. Let's Traverse. We're dead to any top deck burn, and Mana Leak isn't countering any burn spells. So I think we just need to ignore burn now. If they have Bolt, we're dead, basically. That's pretty much the position we are in. What do we want? What do we want? Snapcaster Mage. Yes. Snap. Okay, so we're going to attack. They take 4, and then we snap Bolt, I think. I'm not positive. Now, we can Snap Bolt, taking out their Snapcaster Mage or their face. It's definitely safer to take out the face. We're also dead to Spell Queller, which is very notable. We're dead to a lot of things. Lightning Bolt or Serum Visions. Crunch time. Bolt takes out Snap, 2-turn clock, or we Bolt face, 2-turn clock. Visions, we're dead to Path. I'd rather not be dead to Path, so we're going to Bolt their Snapcaster. Normally I would have thought that out a little more, but we have a little under a minute and a half. So, we're going to get crack-a-lackin'. Are we dead, opponent? Are we dead? Please tell me. I need to know. Snapcaster Mage down. Spell Queller, GG's. Oh. Jeez. That's pretty fantastic. That was such a good match. I like the interactive ones. Man, how I like the interactive ones. Alright, hopefully you all enjoyed that video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.